Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Hello everyone. In this video we will be looking at question 2 from the coverage of a grade 11 elite for term 2. So it says let f be the function that is given by f of x equals ax plus b over x squared minus c, and that has the following properties 1, 2 and 3. Number 1 says the graph of f is symmetric with respect to the y-axis. The limit as x approaches 2 from the right equals positive infinity, and f prime of 1 equals negative 2. So according to these three properties, we need to find a, b and c. We need to find the values of a, b and c. And the second part, we need to write the equation for each vertical and horizontal asymptote. And we will try to sketch the graph on the provided xy plane. So first of all, let's rewrite the function so that we can easily look at it, right? So we've got f of x equals ax plus b all over x squared minus c. This is the function. I just rewrote the function this way. Now, what does it mean when it says the graph of f is symmetric with respect to the y-axis? It means that anything on the left side is identical to the right side. That means we can say here from this statement, we can say that f of x, it has to be the same as f of minus x. What does that mean? It means that the function value of any x on the right side, on the positive x-axis, must be the same as the function value of the same x value, but on the left side of the x-axis, right? For example, here, f of 3, it has to be the same as f of minus 3, because it's symmetric with respect to the y-axis. This is the y-axis. So anything on the left should be the same as the right. So the word symmetric, or the expression symmetric with respect to the y-axis, it means that f of x equals f of minus x. Okay, how can this help? We are looking for a, b and c. So what do we do in this case? Okay, this is part A. We will say that f of x, it has to be the same as f of minus x. And we are given f of x. Let's write it here, which is what? ax plus b over x squared minus c. And on the right side, we will replace every x with negative x. So this is a. And instead of x, we'll write negative x, and this is plus b, right? Plus b. And here, instead of x, we will be writing minus x squared minus c. So let's just simplify a little bit. This is the same, ax plus b over x squared minus c equals minus ax plus b all over negative x all squared. It's just x squared minus c. Now, I want you to compare these two things, left and right. Well, the denominators are the same. We have b and we have b on both sides. But here we have ax, and here we have minus ax. So what do we do to make this statement true? This statement must be true, that the left side equals the right side. Well, by cancelling this, right? By cancelling this, 0, 0, right? That leaves us with b over x squared minus c equals b over x squared minus c. How do we make this thing 0? By letting a equals what? 0. A equals 0. This is the first part. A equals 0. Now, if you look at the second property, it says the limit of f of x as x approaches 2 from the right equals positive infinity, and this means what? It means that there is a vertical asymptote at x equals 2. There is a vertical asymptote at x equals 2. So at x equals 2 here, we have a vertical asymptote, right? And due to symmetry, we have a vertical asymptote at x equals minus 2, because the graph is symmetrical with respect to the y-axis. So we have a vertical asymptote at x equals 2 and at x equals minus 2, because it's symmetric. Okay, so if we simplify the function now, the function is f of x equals, we said a is 0, that leaves us with b over x squared minus c. Now, the x values at which we have the vertical asymptotes will make the denominator 0. So there are two values for the asymptote. The first one is x equals 2, and we have x equals minus 2. So how do we make the whole denominator 0 when we substitute x equals 2 and x equals minus 2? So if we take the denominator, which is x squared minus c equals 0, because when the denominator is 0, we have a vertical asymptote, and the vertical asymptote happens at 2 and minus 2. So if you plug in here 2 squared minus c equals 0, that leaves you with c equals 4. If you can also do it again with minus 2, it will be 4 as well. So due to the asymptote at 2 and minus 2, the value of c must be what? It must be 4. So now we need to find the value of the third unknown, which is c. Okay, we found A, we found B, and we found C. Now the function, the whole function becomes what? F of x equals, we found C, now we have B, sorry, we found C already, we need to find B now. X squared minus 4. Now this is how the function looks like. We need to find what? We need to find the value of b. How do we find the value of b? By looking at the third given a property, which is f prime of 1. F prime of 1 equals minus 2. So we'll use this property to find the value of b. Okay? So let's find f prime now. F prime of x. We will apply the quotient rule. The quotient rule here, we have the denominator squared, and on top we have the numerator x squared minus 4 times the derivative of the numerator, which is 0. The derivative of b is 0, minus bracket the numerator, which is b, times the derivative of the denominator, which is 2x. So this is the derivative. So this one becomes 0 because it's multiplied by 0. And we know that f prime of 1 equals minus 2. So f prime of 1 equals minus 2, right? F prime of 1 equals minus 2, which is minus b, okay? We agreed that this is 0. That means minus b times 2x, يعني 2 times 1 all over 1 squared minus 4 all squared. So we have minus 2 equals what? Minus 2p over 1 squared is 1 minus 4 minus 3 squared 9. Right? So the value of p, if you solve it, if you multiply here by 9 and you multiply here by 9, you get this 9 and this 9 cancel. 9 times negative 2, negative 18 equals minus 2b, divide by minus 2, divide by minus 2, so b equals 9. The value of p is equal to 9. This is the first part, A, B, and C. A is equal to 0, B is equal to 9, and C is equal to 4. So now going back here, for part B, but before we start doing part B, let's write the function now. The function becomes f of x equals 9 over x squared minus 4. This is the function after finding A, B, and C. Okay, the question says write an equation for each vertical and each horizontal asymptote of the graph of f. We already found the vertical asymptote, 2 and minus 2. So, because also they make the denominator 0. So here, what are the... Sorry, now let's start with the vertical asymptote first. So the vertical asymptotes, x equals 2 and x equals minus 2, because they make the denominator 0. This is, and this one, they make the denominator 0. And we found them from the given information. Now the second one, it says what is the horizontal asymptote. So to find the horizontal asymptote, you will be looking at for the horizontal asymptotes, so what do? We'll find the limit as x approaches negative, positive and negative what? Infinity of f of x, which is 9 over x squared minus 4. Notice that the numerator is just constant, the denominator is a quadratic, so this limit is equal to 0. That means we have a horizontal asymptote at y equals 0. The vertical asymptote at 2 and minus 2. So these are the three asymptotes the graph has. 2 verticals at 2 and minus 2, and 1 horizontal at y equals 0. So part C says sketch the graph of f in the xy plane provided below. Okay, we labeled the vertical asymptotes at 2 and minus 2, and we have another asymptote at 0, which is a horizontal asymptote. We have a horizontal asymptote. So what do these asymptotes represent? Well, they represent imaginary lines. They are not part of the graph, in fact, actually. They are imaginary lines where the graph approaches them. Okay, the graph approaches them, but the graph or the curve never, they never meet, they never touch each other. So, how do we sketch the curve by labeling these three asymptotes? Well, okay, let's start from one side and we will copy it on the other side because the graph is symmetrical with respect to the y-axis. So here you need to sketch you need to sketch a curve that approaches those asymptotes, right? Okay. 1 second. So we need to make a graph here that approaches this asymptote and approaches this asymptote as well. Okay? And because the graph is symmetrical, we have to copy it to the left side. So it approaches this asymptote, but no. This is better. Yeah. So these two are the two pieces. But what about the middle one? Well, the middle one, let's look let's find the y-intercept. We know that at the y-intercept, x equals what? 0. So the function f of x equals 9 over x squared minus 4. What is f of 0? F of 0, it will be 9 over 0 squared minus 4. Okay? That means f of 0 equals 9 over minus 4. This is the y-intercept. What does that mean, the y-intercept? This is the point at which the curve intersects the y-axis. So at x equals 0, y equals negative 9 over 4. Okay? If you feel that this is confusing, you just like, if you are making a table of x and y, what is the value of y when x equals 0? You will substitute the 0 into the function 9 over x squared minus 4. You will get minus 9 over 4. So when x is equal to 0, you will get minus 9 over 4. And minus 9 over 4 in decimal, sorry, it will be negative 2.25. So you will label a point at negative 2.25, which is somewhere here, right? And then you need to sketch a curve that approaches the vertical asymptote and doesn't cross the horizontal asymptote. So it has to be something like this. Okay? It cannot go beyond negative 2 and 2, and it cannot go up, because if it goes up, it will cross the horizontal asymptote at y equals 0. So it has to be facing down, right? This is the question 1 from the file of question 2 from the coverage of grade 11 elite. So yes, we found the values of A, B, and C. We found all the horizontal and vertical asymptotes, and we sketched the graph. Please, when it says, I just want to emphasize this, when it says write an equation, okay, for each vertical and horizontal, please, you have to say that for the vertical, you have to say x equals. You have to say x equals, okay? And for the horizontal asymptote, you have to say y equal, okay? This is the equation. Please make sure you mention those x and y. Good luck.